Hello, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon Live. Crazy them because you don't know how it's going to turn out.
My kids empowered me to get out.
What's going on with this remote learning in the midst of COVID?
Working for different elected officials, learning and understanding how to put the community first.
Hi, and welcome to Keeping It Real with Shannon. How are you? Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Well, as you all know, this is Women's History Month. And as women, we got to show off our power. We got to show that we are leaders, we are mothers, we are grandmothers, sisters. Women do a lot, so we're going to celebrate this month. So we wanted to highlight some of the women that we knew that's trailblazers making an impact. So we have a young lady joining us tonight that is definitely a trailblazer. Is that right, Vanessa?
Absolutely. And our special guest tonight is Dr. Reba Perry-Ufele. She's a licensed doula, a mental health counselor, and the author of How to Get Along with Your Ex Without Killing Him or Her. And she's one of our trailblazers tonight that's making an impact in the world. So let's welcome our special guest tonight, Dr. Reba.
Hello there, Dr. Reba.
How are you?
Well, we want to thank you for joining us tonight, and certainly you need to be highlighted because you have been doing some of everything, traveling all over the world. You're everywhere. I mean, every time I look up, I see your face plastered somewhere. You're getting ready to be honored at the UN, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Just tell us, like, who are you?
Well, I am a Black woman out here in this world making things happen, but also saving my community. I am a trailblazer by age, but I've always been the type of person that helped people. I remember being a young girl, about 5 or 6, and I always brought somebody home that needed some type of assistance. And I used to always tell my mother, "Can you help them?" And my mother would say, "Let's see how we can help them." And then I just passed the baton to me, and then I passed the baton to my daughters. And that's just my lifestyle of who I am. I believe if you see somebody struggling somewhere, that you shouldn't just walk past them, you should help them. And that's the village. We forgot to be a village. We mind our business and we just walk past people and we think this couldn't happen to me when it really could happen to you.
Absolutely.
So Dr. Reba, how do you feel about, the state of the women now? I mean, we know there's a lot going on, and we also know too that we as women, I don't know why we have such a problem getting along with each other. And I know the magic word is jealousy. And I just don't understand why we're so jealous of each other rather than trying to help each other and pull each other up, by the bootstrap. Like, what do you see while you out there?
So I traveled to about 40 states in multiple countries. And I noticed as a Black woman, we tend to be jealous of each other and not even know the person. Instead of complimenting another Black woman, we'll roll our eyes, stare at them, and say derogatory things. For instance, today my daughter was traveling back to Texas, and she said she could have gotten on the flight, but the other Black woman said there's no space. And when she went over to the male, he put her on the plane. And it was very bizarre, and she was very rude. And I think as women, we should learn to say something positive. I make it a practice every day to say something positive to people throughout the day. If I see a woman that looks very presentable, I say, "Oh, that's such a gorgeous hat. Oh, you look so pretty." Like I just said to your co-host how pretty the lipstick was. I just said to the other person how pretty she was. If we make it a habit of doing that, we'll cut out the negativity. It's so easy to be negative.
Absolutely. And I think sometimes people that have shortcomings, right, they really should be open and appreciate some of the things that people say. Because sometimes you say something to someone, they like, "Oh, like you're looking for something, this and that," or here, and there's always some connotation, there's always some stress behind it. And people just need to just open up themselves to be gracious in what case and receive the compliments excuse me, that people give them. They will receive a compliment from a man. Why not receive a compliment from another sister?
And not only that, you have to think everybody's going through something. That compliment can really save them for that day.
Absolutely.
When I speak to people and tell them a compliment, that compliment get them through the day. You never know what a person is going through, and everybody's going through something right now. So when I say hello, how you doing, how you feeling, and my kids always say, "Mommy, can we just go in the store and you not speak to everybody and hug everybody in the store?" And guess what? That's my personality. You're not going to stop me from being me. And sometimes people need a hug. Sometimes people need a hello. Sometimes people need a compliment because we in a world now where everything is just going backwards. So sometimes just that hello and that compliment might get you through the whole week. So that's why I make a habit of being nice, kind, and courteous. And I'm always afraid that the karma going to come back on my children. So I speak highly of everybody. And I always say, I'm going to be nice because I don't want to fall off that curb when I'm walking. So I'm just going to be nice. It's so much easier. And it actually takes the endorphins down in your brain when you're nice. You're mean and
Absolutely.
evil, it takes your body through a sickness. So that's why I'm be nice all day long because I'm too cute not to be nice.
We know what they say, right? Your mouth can make or break any situation, right? You make or break any situation.
So listen, Dr. Reba, we want to find out a little bit more about you before we run out of town. Like, could you tell us what the doula
The
is? The life
doula
of
is
doula.
well, I have a doula academy and I actually train over 1,000 doulas around the world, even in Africa. Doulas are support service for women during birth and after birth. Right now, we're in a crisis of women losing their lives because of childbirth. We in 2025, and our mayor now has put in place where doulas can get paid. My doulas actually do get paid, and some of them decide to do it as volunteers. I have teachers, social workers, NYPD. I have all walks of life, and I prefer the women to be mothers themselves because you can't tell a woman how it feels to give birth if you've never given birth. And my youngest doula is 18, and they can go all the way up to in their 80s. And it's on my academy. You leave with a certificate and a license and an ID. I have actually doulas that work in Rikers Island right now, where they help women and they sit in during the childbirth, or if they choose not to, they can do postpartum care, which is even more important. And you know, I'm a nurse, a trauma nurse for 35 years. So I saw the importance of Black women that are dying from maternal death. If you have that doula in that birthing room, she actually is the voice for you. She monitors everything. She's not a medical professional, but she is licensed to sit in the room. And some of my doulas are registered nurses and licensed nurses. But when they come in, they only interact as a support system and an advocate for the woman. So they are the eyes and ears for that woman. So when something goes wrong, they can be in that room and speak because you know during the birthing process, you kind of get a little crazy because you're in pain. So you watching and monitoring everything. And they do everything from a lay massages to after care, which is postpartum care, which some women suffer from postpartum depression. So my doulas will monitor the mom up to 8 weeks after the birth, because that's usually when the postpartum depression kick in. And we have had a few cases of it. And they are support system. They like a buddy, because remember, everybody doesn't have a support system during birth.
Right, but Dr.
Right.
Lisa, let me ask you, that over the years, we know that the maternal rate for Black African American women is high. Have you seen the percentage, the rates go down since doulas have really been implemented and recognized?
Yes, doulas have been more supportive, and that's why a lot of insurance companies have recognized them. We have a number that we use. Say if you have Medicaid or some type of insurance, we have a number that they can use. And then some of them, my doulas do it because they want to volunteer to help, because we have young clients as young as 15 and 16 that don't have no support system, and they actually are going into the birthing room without a mom or anybody that's there. So that's why we decided to do the postpartum care as well. We had a few clients. I had a personal client that wasn't answering her phone for 3 days, and I had to ask the fire department to kick the door in And of course, that was my responsibility. And the mom was sitting there with the baby with feces all over. Did I call the police and report her? No. I told the fire department, they did have to call the police. I said, this is part of postpartum depression. Don't arrest her. And I called for a backup, which was her mother and her daughter to come immediately to help her so that they can not arrest her, because they would consider that neglect. That's part of the training, that it was postpartum depression. And the mom was overwhelmed because she had no support. So the mother
I don't want to cut you off, but I do have one more other thing I do want you to hit on, because we only got about another minute left. Is I know you're a mental health counselor.
Yes.
And so I want to know, since you do that, do you think we all have mental issues?
All of us have mental issues. When a person say they don't, they're lying, because most people have what we call childhood trauma, and we don't address it. So what happened, it turns into depression and other mental illness. And some mental illness is triggered by childhood trauma. So what happened is most of us go around, like she just said, they snap on people when they really not angry with you. They're angry with what happened in their past. So they take it out on you. And that's what my mission is. But mostly I'm working with Black men with mental health issues, because they can't be adaptive as our husband and significant other if they have so much trauma.
Do you advise people, even though they say there's nothing wrong with them, or I'm not crazy, I'm not this, do you still advise you to get some counseling? I don't think it hurts to talk to anybody about anything.
Everybody should seek some type of counseling, even if it's your minister or pastor of your church or someone that you trust. Don't go to your friend, because your friend is not qualified. And a lot of times if you fall out with your friend, they know all your deep secrets. So I tell people to go to a counselor. All insurances pay for counseling. It could be a social worker, licensed social worker. It can be a doctor, psychologist, psychiatrist, but everybody needs someone to talk to, because you can't keep it to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It may not necessarily mean that they're lying. They may not just be aware. They may not be aware.
No, most people that have mental illness think they normal.
Yeah, but they're
not aware.
They don't know. Sometimes people, because how do you really identify mental illness? People don't really understand what that is.
I wouldn't say everything is like mental illness, like when someone really be doing harmful things. I'm talking about people sometimes that just do some things that just kind of off the clock a little bit. And, you'd be like, is there something going on here that, we need to be looking into or checking into,
And mental illness is a form of depression, and most people don't know they're depressed. They think they're okay, and that's why you have people that it does excessive drinking and they do drugs, because they try to suppress a pain that is enduring to them, and they can't. It becomes overwhelming. But now you got two problems. You got a substance abuse, and then you have a mental health issue. And I'm trying.
Dr. Reba, our time is up. We got to go to break. I want to thank you for joining us, but I want everyone to know that they can come and hear you speak at our Women's History Program, which is going to take place on March 26th. At Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Center at 6 p.m. So if you want to hear more from Dr. Reba, call me. So this way you can get a ticket to get in March 26th at Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Center on Fulton Street. So we want to thank you for joining us, and we'll see you on the 26th.
Yeah,
so we're going to
take my book as well.
Yes. Oh, yes. And don't forget, she'll be talking about her book, How to Get Along with Your Ex Without Killing Him or Her. So you don't want to miss that. So we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with another Trailblazer. Take care now. We'll see you on March 26th.
Yes.
Hello, this is Marshall Cuellar, and you're watching Keeping It Real with Shannon.
It's Shannon. It's Shannon.
People couldn't see my potential, so I had to show them.
I've run this place for 20 years, but I still need to prove that I'm more than what you see on paper.
Today, I'm the CEO of my own company.
It's the way my mind works. I have a very mechanical brain.
Why are we not rethinking this?
I am more.
I'm more
than who I am on paper.
tonight, and we're celebrating Women's History Month. We're highlighting some of the ladies who have been trailblazers and making an impact. And we have another young lady that we would like to highlight tonight. And Vanessa, we want to introduce her.
Absolutely. Our special guest tonight is Dr. Sandra Taylor. She's a motivational speaker, a national independent educational consultant, a professional vocalist. She's also another one of our trailblazers that's impacting the world. Let's welcome Ms. Dr. Sandra to the show.
Wow.
Hello there, Ms. Taylor. Dr. Taylor, how are you?
What a nice introduction. I'm blushing over here.
How you doing?
I am blessed and highly favored.
Well, good. You know, we're celebrating Women's History Month, so we are highlighting trailblazers, and you are definitely one of those trailblazers that's been doing great things, and you're out there in education, you're out there in other things, you're vocalist singing all over the world. So why don't you just give us a little 60-second interview here to tell us who you are and how you, and really what have you been doing, making an impact?
Well, I'm this little girl that's now this 68-year-old woman who came from the projects, what we call the project middle class of Brownsville.
All right. All right.
I do or die. Crown Heights is all right. That was looked at as one most likely not to succeed because of being misunderstood, because of rejection that will turn your projection of yourself as a failure, dropped out of school. Well, I didn't drop out of school, signed out of school because it was a time when schools were being integrated in New York, and they decided to send the Black kids to Richmond Hill, and they didn't want us there. And so we spent a lot of our time on the battlefield protesting. And so I was signed out of school, went and got to GED program, and got helped everyone else because I was smart. I was bad, but I was smart. And got my GED, and then I went into music and stuff. And with the ins and outs, the stuff that you hear today, it's not new. The P. Diddy stuff is not new. I didn't have that personality. I was still like this little tough girl in this world, and that was not going to happen for me. And I had a father who was in it who said, "You're going to have me go to jail. Go to school. You're smart." So I went through the entertainment section, and then I had a family. And once I had this kid who's 48 years old, I knew I had to do something different. I knew I had to make sure that I had a cushion for him, and on the way, help those other kids. So I'm a fast forward. I was a journalist first. I went to college when he was 3 months old. I had a grandmother that kept him for $5 a week to play her numbers. And I went and got that first BA. I was a C average. Then I was a journalist. I was a token Black. I feel like some movie. I've been fighting all my life. I was the token Black, Popular Science magazine, actually Times Mirror Corporation, the first. And I was there for 2 years, but I was so unfulfilled because I knew that it was racism, and I knew why I was there. So I went back to my alma mater at Long Island University to a teacher's fair, and one of my friends dared me. I said, "Oh, I don't want to be no teacher." Anyway, I went, and I got called 2 weeks later. Pierce 399 in Flatbush, Mabel Robertson gave me an opportunity. And this is what I want to share. And this is who I am. I learned who I was through the eyes of those children. I saw little me's. I saw the bad me. I saw the inquisitive me. I saw the smart aleck me. I saw it all. And I kept saying, let me give it 5 years. 5 turned to 10, 15, 20. And my journey, I was called a ghetto teacher. I like ghetto. Ghetto's not bad. We make it bad. Ghetto's just a place where people commune. It's your tribe. That's your ghetto. It's your place with your people. But that was my tag. So I went from teacher to staff developer to assistant principal, and then to the ghetto principal. Ghetto because I could get down with the kids. No
education in the ghetto, girl.
No gang in my school. This is my
learning.
Miss Taylor know what set is? Yes, because I'm from this community. And so I, went on and so when I retired in 2013, you don't really retire when you retire.
Right.
That's for sure.
An educator, I got an opportunity to be a consultant, and I did that to the pandemic. Then I always wanted to be a doctor because as a young girl, through all my badness, I met someone who had a doctorate degree, and Dr. Barbara Joseph. And I didn't know, I thought doctors were just medical, but she was a doctor of letters, Shinnecock and Black woman. And that always stayed in my mind. And she used to talk to me when I was going through my little thing. And so I said, let me go back. And I had peers, family members saying, nah, not you. First didn't believe that I had become an educator. And then get a doctorate. Why? Because I can. Because although I was bad, I was smart. And because I did, I want kids to know that they can. If this little girl from Brownsville who got a GED, went through the ranks, ran the streets, my mother go to sleep, turn the clock back, drop my clothes downstairs, go to the laundry, switch, put on my hot pants. If I could, they could. So I learned about me, and I'm still learning about me through the eyes of kids. So I'm still in it. I'm a consultant for Brooklyn College, the teaching fellow. So I get a chance to go in there and help those teachers get in tune with where kids meet kids where they are.
Yeah.
You can bring them here, but meet them and be real. I know who I am, and I'm proud of who I am. Ain't no shame in my game and my Southern roots and my project background, right?
So
Yes.
Dr. Taylor, this journey
Yes.
that you have been on, and we all have been on a journey. We all have had a situation that, maybe we think that we really couldn't make it. During that time, did you ever feel like I can't make it? Or did you always have that confidence that regardless, I'm going to do it?
No, I suffered pain, through emotional pain, disappointment from people, from family members. Oh, just get a city job and you be from, oh no, you can't do that. Oh no, you can't sing. Right? But I saw, I read a lot. There was Shirley Chisholm. I'm like, well, okay. There was Angela Davis. So even though I was doing certain bad things, I knew there were trailblazers out there, and I wanted that respect, right? And so it motivated me. I struggled. I didn't always meet the mark. Remember, I told you that even though I went to college, I graduated with a C, but that's a second master's. I was summa cum laude because I kept saying I can, and I would try. Yes, you feel like giving up, especially during this doctorate. I started the doctorate at 65. I cried, I quit, I cussed, I prayed. And I had one sister who would be like, you can do it. I really didn't think I could. I knew I was smart enough to, but I felt too old, technology. And I didn't really have, because my peers said my friends, they were looking at me like I was crazy. Oh, you're not partying no more. You ain't going to the resorts. No, I'm studying. Why, Sandra, this age? Because I have grandchildren. I have a great grandson. If they want it, if I could do it, they could do it. And for all of those, most of my students that I taught as a teacher are my Facebook friends. Oh my God. They make me cry. They tell me about how I helped them get from point A. Yes, some from jail. Send me commissary. I send them commissary.
Dr. Sandra, I want to just interject for a moment, right? With the climax of the day with limited resources and enough prominent people to encourage the youth, how do you see them surpassing where they are today and getting that confidence to move on and move forward?
Well, they have more people that's a successful Black, although there's still a group of people who rather talk about them, let's talk about the Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. I wanted to talk about him too, until someone broke it down to me. And then I said, oh no, I'm with him. Okay, I don't have to like all this music, but I understand this message. So the support, they're the ones who are going to change. I don't care what the old people think they're doing now in politics. It's the young people. They're interracial. They into each other. It's different. And they're the ones who's leading. I sometimes when I'm talking to people, they look at me and shake their head, and I do a lot of this standing alone. Well, I don't care. I'm alone. I'm going to do my part, and if I get one or two, I'm fine. We make that. It's not going to stop me because God allowed me. I think it's my duty to bring them. So I can't bring.
But when you said, not cutting you off, Dr. Taylor, but when you said about the C, that you only get a grade C.
I only got a grade C. Yeah.
But the thing about that C, the C is still passing, but it's not so. Yeah, they want us to get good grades. Yeah, all of them want us to get A's and B's or whatever. Right. But just because you get a C, if you notice, see, everybody don't like to take tests and do all of that kind of stuff. Right. They're geniusly smart, but they just not test takers or quiz stuff like that. That doesn't mean you can't move up and become famous or become a really bright and everything. That C don't mean a thing. You know what I'm saying?
No, it don't.
I mean, I even take myself. See, I'm visual.
Yes.
Don't be telling me to be looking at that and whatever. I have to see it for myself. Yes. And then that way I know how to change it and turn it into I can make it big or whatever because I'm looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody is not, I want the kids to know that just because you get a C, that does not change who you are.
No, but what it did, it was make me want more because I felt that I could do more. I didn't like it. I didn't stop me from getting a job. I became a teacher. I felt that if I got a C, and it wasn't a test, it was just your work ethic. It was my work ethic. I'm young then. I'm 22. I'm 20. Right. So my work ethic. So I said, I don't think anyone is any smarter than me from what I could see. So let me push. So that first master's was a B. For me, it gave me my push to go higher. No, and I don't push that because some people aren't, but that's for me. It was a challenge and I took it on. Just like even the doctorate. Most people don't finish in 2.5 years, right?
Okay, well, we're going to have to stop you there because you know why? We're having a Women's History Month program on March 26th at Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Plaza. Dr. Taylor is going to be there speaking. So if you want to hear more about her journey, and also there's a surprise coming from her because she's also a professional singer and she's going to also sing for us as well. So if you're interested in coming, give me a call so you can get your ticket because you don't want to miss Dr. Taylor. That's March 26th. So we want to thank you for coming on and giving a little highlight about yourself. And, just give us a 2-liner song right quick. Just 2 lines from a song right quick so we can close out. 2 lines.
There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are.
Okay, don't tell them no more. Don't give them no more. That's it. If you want to hear her sing, you come there on March 6 o'clock p.m. You want tickets? Give me a call. All right. So we want to thank you for joining us today. And, we want to thank you for giving an opportunity to highlight 2 of our women. Make sure you come on March 26th if you're available. And as always, we want to thank you for joining us. Make sure you watch us every Saturday at 5:30 on Brick and 2:30 on Manhattan Neighborhood Network. And you can always see the show again on YouTube and Facebook. So thanks again for joining us. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Today's show is sponsored by Abu's Bakery. If you have a sweet tooth, stop by Abu's Bakery for some delicious cakes and pies.
Would you like beautiful pictures for your home or your office? Then stop by Faith Art Gallery. They have a large selection of pictures from around the world.
It's Shannon.